Hi everyone, welcome back to TalkEasy English. I'm really glad you're here today because this topic is something almost every English learner struggles with. Translating in your head. You know exactly what I mean. You understand what people say, you understand movies, songs, even podcasts. But when you try to speak, your brain freezes. You start building the sentence in your language first, and then you try to translate it into English. It feels slow, stressful, and unnatural. So today, we're going to talk about why this happens and, more importantly, how to fix it. I want to help you stop translating and start thinking directly in English, like a native speaker. First, let's be honest. Translation is natural when you're learning a new language. Your brain is just trying to use the system it already knows, your native language, to make sense of English. But that system slows you down. It's like trying to run with a heavy backpack. You might move forward, but it's slower and you get tired quickly. When you translate, you do three things at once. You think in your native language, translate it into English, and then speak it. That's a lot of work. No wonder your brain gets stuck. The secret to fluency is to remove one of those steps, the translation step. So how do you do that? You have to train your brain to connect English words directly to ideas, not to your native language. For example, when you see an apple, don't think of your native word for apple and then translate it. Just think apple. The word itself should connect to the picture in your mind, not to another word. Let's start small. Think of everyday objects around you. Instead of naming them in your language, name them in English. Table, chair, window, phone. If you see the sun, say sun. If you feel tired, think I'm tired. This builds a direct connection between English and your experience. You're not memorizing. You're creating links in your brain. The next step is to start thinking simple thoughts in English. For example, if you're making breakfast, think, I'm cooking eggs. I need a spoon. The water is hot. Don't worry about grammar or perfection. The goal is to make your mind comfortable with forming thoughts in English. Now, let's talk about why thinking in English feels so hard. It's because your brain wants comfort. It's used to your language. When you try to think in English, it feels like new territory, uncomfortable and confusing at first. But remember, your brain learns through repetition. The more you think in English, the easier it gets. Try this little daily habit every day. Talk to yourself in English for 5 to 10 minutes. Describe what you're doing or what you're feeling. I'm getting ready for work. I'm feeling sleepy. I'm walking to the bus stop. The weather is nice today. This kind of self-talk is one of the most powerful ways to build fluency. And if it feels weird talking to yourself, that's okay. Everyone feels that way at first. You can also do it silently, in your head. The important thing is that you're training your brain to stay in English mode. Another thing that helps is immersing yourself in English as much as possible. If you only use English during lessons, your brain won't adapt. You have to surround yourself with it. Listen to English podcasts, watch YouTube videos, follow English speakers on social media, read short posts or comments in English. The goal is to make English a normal part of your daily environment. When you hear something in English, don't translate it. Try to understand it directly. Your brain might resist at first, but keep going. With time, you'll start to recognize the meaning instantly, just like you do in your native language. Let's take an example. If someone says, "How's it going?" your brain shouldn't start searching for each word's meaning. It should immediately recognize it as, "How are you?" or "What's up?" The more you listen and expose yourself to natural conversations, the faster you'll get there. And here's something most learners don't realize. Fluency isn't about knowing every word. It's about using the words you already know naturally. Even native speakers don't use complicated words all the time. They use simple words effectively. So don't pressure yourself to sound advanced. Focus on sounding natural and clear. You can also use English for your thoughts, not just your words. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm hungry" in your native language, train yourself to think it directly in English. If you're planning your day, do it in English. "I'll study at 4. Then I'll go out. I need to buy bread." The more you do this, the more English becomes your brain's default language for thinking. Thinking in English is like building a muscle. It doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, you'll notice big changes. You'll start speaking faster, understanding faster, and even dreaming in English sometimes. The key is patience. Don't rush it. Don't punish yourself when your brain goes back to translating. Just notice it and gently switch back to English. Every time you do that, you're training your brain to rely less on translation. So, we were talking about how thinking in English is like building a new habit, and how your brain needs practice to stay in English mode. Now, let's take it even deeper. How do you actually keep your brain thinking in English all day, even when you're not studying? It starts with something simple. Change your environment. The language around you shapes the language inside you. If your phone, your apps, and your playlists are all in your native language, your brain will stay stuck there. But if you slowly switch them to English, your phone settings, YouTube recommendations, even the music you listen to, your brain will naturally begin to process more English every day. You see, language learning is not just about grammar and vocabulary. It's about exposure. The more you hear English, the more your brain accepts it as normal. You stop treating it like a foreign language. You start living in it. Let's say you're scrolling through your phone. Instead of watching videos in your language, watch something in English. Not just lessons, but natural content like vlogs, interviews, or podcasts. You don't even need to understand every single word. The goal is to let your brain hear how the language sounds in real life. And when you watch, don't just sit there. Listen actively. Repeat small phrases. Try to notice how people express feelings, how they start and end sentences. That's how you start absorbing real, living English. Now, one of the most powerful ways to stop translating is to use English to describe your emotions. Most learners only use English for studying or describing actions, like I'm eating or I'm going to the store. But real fluency comes when you can express how you feel. For example, I feel anxious about tomorrow, or I'm proud of myself today. When you start expressing emotions in English, your brain connects the language to your real experiences. And that's when thinking in English becomes natural. Another key step is to build your own small English world. This means making English a normal part of your everyday life. For example, if you like music, listen to songs in English and read the lyrics. If you enjoy movies, pick one favorite movie in English and watch it multiple times. Each time, you'll notice new things, new words, new expressions, new tones. You can also make English part of your hobbies. If you like cooking, watch recipes in English. If you like football, follow English commentators. If you like technology, read tech news in English. This way, you're not forcing yourself to study. You're enjoying your interests through English. Here's something else that helps inner narration. Try to describe what's happening in your day inside your head. For example, when you wake up, think, it's 7 a.m., I'm still sleepy, I should get out of bed. When you're walking somewhere, think, the street is busy today. The weather feels nice. I hope I don't forget to buy what I need. This inner narration keeps your brain in English mode. At first, it feels strange and slow, but trust me, after a few weeks, it starts to feel automatic. You won't even realize you're doing it. You'll just start noticing that English is becoming your default thought language. Another big step is stopping yourself when you translate. Every time you catch your brain trying to translate a word, don't get angry. Just pause and say the English word instead. For example, if you want to say pen, and your brain gives you the word in your language first, stop and say pen. If you can't remember it, describe it, the thing you use to write. That's still English, and it keeps your brain in the right lane. You should also learn to accept mistakes. When you stop translating, you'll make small grammar or vocabulary mistakes. That's okay. Making mistakes means your brain is learning to work in English without relying on your first language. Every time you make a mistake, you're getting closer to natural fluency. Now let's talk about how to train your reaction speed, because that's what most learners really want. You don't want to pause every time you speak. You want the words to come out fast, smooth, and natural. Here's the secret. Practice short conversations in your head. Imagine situations like ordering coffee, asking for help, meeting a new person, talking about your day. Picture yourself in those moments and practice what you would say. Hi, can I get a coffee, please? Hey, Nice to meet you. I had a long day, but it was good. When you do this daily, your brain creates automatic patterns for real-life speaking. So when you actually face that situation in real life, the words come naturally. No translation, no panic. Also, don't ignore listening practice. Listening is what feeds your thinking. The more you hear natural English, the more your brain recognizes patterns and phrases. It's not just about hearing words. It's about understanding tone, rhythm, and feeling. One simple exercise is to listen to a short English clip and try to repeat it immediately. This is called shadowing. It's like you're copying the speaker's rhythm and pronunciation in real time. It might feel tough, but it forces your brain to think and react in English instantly. No time for translation. And here's another golden rule. Use English to solve problems or make decisions. For example, when you're thinking about what to do tomorrow, do it in English. Tomorrow I'll finish my work first, then maybe I'll go out. Or when you're thinking about a personal decision, do it in English. Should I do this or that? Maybe it's better if I wait. This is deep thinking, and it builds strong English connections in your brain. Let's also talk about confidence. Many learners can think in English but still freeze when speaking. The reason is fear. Fear of being judged, fear of sounding wrong. But here's the truth, no one cares as much as you think. People are focused on understanding you, not judging your grammar. If you can deliver your message clearly, you're already fluent. Confidence comes from repetition. The more you speak, even to yourself, the easier it gets. Fluency is built, not gifted. Every small effort adds up. So, to sum it up, thinking in English naturally is not about perfection. It's about connection. You connect English to your daily life, your emotions, your thoughts, and your environment. You train your brain slowly, consistently, until one day you realize you're not translating anymore. You're just speaking. And that's the real secret of fluency. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to keep improving your real-life English, make sure to subscribe to TalkEasy English. Every episode here is made to help you think, speak, and live in English the easy way. See you in the next one.